All right, a very good Tuesday evening to you. Meteorologist Todd Howell in the Channel 10 Streaming Center live right now. Just wanted to bring you a quick update. Well, we've really seen these thunderstorms developing very quickly coming out of North Carolina and moving right along the spine of the Appalachians into the Smoky Mountains. And these have continued to kind of spread out, even seen developing and growing thunderstorm activity in West Knox County right now. So it's a very heavy downpour after an excessively hot and humid day today. 96 degrees, by the way, in Knoxville today. That is by far our hottest day of the year so far, and our fourth day of 90-degree plus temperatures. So just like that, summer coming in right on cue. And with the heat and humidity, we've had these thunderstorms. We got a little bit of a clue in the atmosphere, waving a little flag yesterday. Had some spotty storms briefly, parts of Blount and Monroe counties. But today, same setup in North Carolina. That's where the thunderstorms develop, but they've been propagating again to the west, northwest, into parts of East Tennessee, including the mountains and foothills. Matter of fact, just issued, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning. So we got more thunderstorms developing. Now, the main reason I wanted to give you a heads up for the heavy rainfall producing flooding, and now we have a new severe thunderstorm warning. So it's twofold reason we're doing this live stream. First of all, for the mountains and foothills, because these have been producing some very heavy rainfall rates. But also, secondly, we're seeing these thunderstorms propagate into the valley. One of our high-res models did a very good job of showing this scenario playing out. Here we are coming up on 7:30, and it showed between 7 and 8 p.m. outflow boundary from the mountain thunderstorms making its way in the valley with new initiation. Outflow boundaries are like mini fronts that redevelop and initiate new thunderstorm development as the air blows out from the original line of storms, lifts the air ahead of it, and that's what we're seeing in the valley with more thunder showers. So let's get right to it, and we'll go through again what we're seeing right now. I do want to mention, though, and I'll talk about this in a moment, the severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued for parts of Sevier and Cocke counties. Damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. Could have some small hail with it, but mainly damage and wind threat and a heavy rainfall and flooding threat developing, unfortunately, in parts of Cocke County. Now, the other reason I wanted to bring this update, we don't need any heavy rain and thunderstorms near the road construction area where they're continuing to try to get the road back repaired, obviously from the damage from Helene. So that's right along the Tennessee-North Carolina state line, and we've got thunderstorms that are redeveloped there, and you can see we do have that activity. That severe thunderstorm warning for Cocke County and Sevier County is going to run until 8:15. So I'll get right to that in a moment, but heads up, in Cocke County, 2 reasons to take cover. Severe thunderstorm warning till 8:15. Damage winds up to 60 miles per hour, but heavy rainfall and flooding. So if you live near a flood-prone area across parts of Sevier and Cocke counties, be prepared to move to higher ground. We've had, as you already know, there's been a history of the flooding conditions and some of the landscape being compromised from the damage to Helene, which was less than a year ago still. So we saw that play out certainly over the last week, and we don't want anybody to be in harm's way. So if you live in a flood-prone area, be advised in Cocke County, parts of Sevier County, there could be some flooding issues developing pretty quickly, and we'll have to keep a close eye on that. All right, with that, we're going to zoom on into our radar views. Here's what we're seeing. Again, in West Knox County, basically near Farragut and right over Pellissippi, Level Road, Campbell Station area, also close to Cedar Bluff. But in West Knox County, torrential rain has been developing. Some lightning strikes, look at that popping up, new development showing up around the Cedar Bluff area and continuing to just propagate slowly to the north. More thunder showers around Alcoa, back towards Seymour, and continuing up around Chapman Highway. And of course, look at all these strong to severe thunderstorm activity that is continuing to develop into Cocke and Sevier counties. Now again, this is continuing to slide its way to the north. So let me go ahead and zoom on into what we're seeing. Again, again, this is the movement. It's basically moving slowly north, so it's been in Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, also coming up from Gatlinburg, Pittman Center, along Highway 321. Again, in the mountainous, rugged, high terrain, that's where we'll likely see more flooding issues develop in steep terrain because of the runoff issues. So torrential rainfall, Hartford, look at all the lightning, the energy that's developed between Newport and Hartford, and a lot of this is basically just in the last 30 minutes. So these new thunderstorms developing, again, originating right over the spine of the Appalachians along the Tennessee-North Carolina state line, and then slowly moving to the north up into some of the foothills and even into some of the adjacent valley areas and northern parts of Cocke County, also into Sevier County. So that's what we're looking at. Again, that's severe thunderstorm warning for Cocke and Sevier until 8:15 that just issued a moment ago, and we still have the flash flood warning for Sevier and Blount counties. I'll show you radar totals. The storms have moved out of some of that flash flood warning area, but what's left behind are a lot of swollen creeks and streams and culverts, and certainly probably a lot of street flooding in general. So here's a humble reminder: avoid flooded roadways. Even after the storms have moved on off, you don't know how deep that water may be covering a road, especially if it's moving water. You never want to drive through a flooded roadway in general. So avoid flooded roadways. Turn around, don't drown. That's always the flooding motto when we stress that, when we have heavy rain and potential flooding issues. So here's what we're looking at. Again, Farragut, look at these thunderstorms. This is over the last hour. Let me just slow this down a little bit and show you just basically the last time. We'll do 30 minutes. And again, put this in motion now. And this storm has continued to just develop. I was watching it popping up a moment ago. There's 30 minutes, so it was already initiated, but look how much it's grown just in 30 minutes time. Farragut, again, level road, as I mentioned there, the Campbell Station Road interchange into Hardin Valley, and also Thompson Road. We're looking at more of those scattered showers and storms. Wildwood to Seymour, another cluster of storms here. So again, heads up in Knox County, West Knox County, got some lightning, torrential rainfall. Again, in the Farragut and near the Hardin Valley area, and continuing to make its way slowly to the north. I mean, it's just crawling, so it's dropping and dumping heavy rainfall amounts in a short period of time. Here's what we're looking at. Again, elsewhere, here's that warning as we take you into, this is Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, Dollywood getting very heavy rainfall, pretty intense lightning earlier. Now that's starting to move away from Sevier County. It's actually fanning out. Notice how the movement, it's actually going just like this. I would do my arm back like that from Sevier County back into Cocke County. And so you're just seeing when thunderstorms develop, they mature, the downdrafts come down, and the wind blows out, and that creates these outflow boundaries. And so that initiates new storms developing away from where the storms originated. So we slide on over. Here's what it looks like in Sevierville. Improving conditions in Sevierville right here. Here's approximately, not exactly, but approximately where our camera is located on the parkway from Sevierville. Now, in this case, I've turned the camera around. We're looking north towards Sevierville. Again, this direction behind me is back toward Pigeon Forge, but the actual most of the storms are now off to the east part of that particular camera view. Let me show you the observed rainfall totals, and this is one of the things, and these are rolling cumulative rainfall totals. Accumulated rainfall, observed rainfall, this past 24 hours, but most of this is just in the last couple of hours, really, or less. You can see 1 to 2 inches of rain, up to almost 2 1/4 inches now, and this is in southeast Sevier County. This is Sevier County near Gatlinburg, 1.7, 1.9 just south of Gatlinburg, but you know, that's continuing to add up, and now we're seeing these storms making their way off to the north and east. So here's our future cast. Let me go back and play it out. I don't have a pause point on that, but I'll just kind of walk through, and so we can all see this together. So here's what we're seeing. Again, this is the high-res model. It's got a decent handle on it of showing the storms making their way from the mountains, even from Knoxville to Dandridge to Newport. So this is, again, what we're looking at right now, and that's showing the spirit of what could continue to unfold. As we walk between now and 8 o'clock, could see more of these thunderstorms working their way slowly north. Again, it's just an outflow boundary, and with all the excess heat and humidity, you don't need much of a boundary to lift the air. You just need anything to lift the air, and you'll get some thunderstorms. This is kind of typical of what we see in the summertime, where initially the thunderstorms developed over a higher terrain, like the mountains or the Cumberland Plateau and Napa Valley, but they initiate these outflow boundaries. They develop these outflow boundaries away from the storms, and that causes new storms to develop, and sometimes these can drift in the valley. That's what we're seeing play out this evening. So they formed in the mountains, but they're moving slowly to the west-northwest, and the outflow boundaries kind of formed new storms ahead of it. So that's kind of what we're seeing play out. This is 8 p.m. As we go to 9 p.m., kind of seeing that up near the Tennessee-Kentucky line. This model just updated. It may be slightly overdone, but the spirit of what it's showing, and this happens sometimes we talk about nocturnal thunderstorms, it's going to be a very warm and muggy night. Some of these showers and storms may just want to rain themselves out for a little while longer. This is 11 p.m., and then once we get closer to midnight, and I'll let it kind of play on through. There's midnight. Looks like the rest of the night is pretty much quiet. Now, you could see some patchy, dense fog where there were showers. That's probably a pretty good, strong likelihood. There'll probably be some localized dense fog, patchy dense fog, where we see the showers, where we saw the showers tonight, and where we'll continue to see them. So again, even in the valley, we do have a chance for some of these thunder showers, spotty to scattered thunder showers, as we work our way through the evening. So again, that's back to what we're seeing in Sevierville right now. Let me show you the downtown camera. This is downtown. This is looking back toward Sevier County and some of those darker clouds. And also, again, we have some of those thunderstorms. This is current conditions in Knoxville. It's 92. We do have some of that lightning and thunder being reported at McGee-Tyson Airport. It still feels like 99 outside. Even though we've seen some clouds moving in, it's still hot and humid. 72-degree dew point. By the way, 96 our high today, and that is by far the hottest temperature so far this year. As I mentioned, fourth day in a row of 90-degree temperatures. Not a record. The record high 102. There's that year, 1988. June of 1988 was very hot. That particular year holds quite a few record high temperatures and temperature records for highs in that particular year, 1988. In June. All right, let's look ahead. I'm going to come back to radar in a moment. We'll get everybody caught up, and we'll go from there and keep you updated on that severe thunderstorm warning in Cott County. I'll look at that again in a moment. But as we look ahead to tomorrow, excessive heat and humidity returns. A very warm start. May have some fog in the morning, 74, 91 at noontime. Look for the heat, the humidity to cause some of those spotty storms. I was checking our latest high-res guidance. They don't really bring a whole lot of thunderstorm activity the next couple of days. Still going to be very hot and humid. 95 tomorrow. We're going to have another 10 weather impact alert in place for Wednesday, as a heat advisory will be in place again tomorrow. So whatever you did today to keep cool, do the same thing tomorrow. Again, in red, this is Wednesday, a 10 weather impact alert heat advisory will be in place through 7 p.m. tomorrow. 95 for the high. 30% chance for some spotty storms. We'll see those chances for spotty to scattered storms slowly increasing. And again, today was a little bit of a clue of what the atmosphere can do when you have heat and humidity, even though it formed the mountains, but we saw these develop in the valley. We'll see a little bit better chance. Temperatures only slowly dropping. It's still going to be hot and humid the rest of the week, just not quite as hot. We're going to max out with the heat and humidity Wednesday, and then see slowly, it's hard to say cooling temperatures because that's still very hot and humid. Heat index values will still be around 100 degrees as we go over the next few days, but that's a look ahead to the next 3 days. Matter of fact, with that, let me show you our 5-day heat index trend, and we'll take a look at this. Again, you saw the 3-day high temperature trend. High temperatures are still going to be close to 90 degrees, even as we get into the weekend. But here's a look at our heat index values. Again, 104 to 105 tomorrow. We're still going to be around 100, maybe just shy of that, but still plenty of heat. This is what it will feel like in the mid to upper 90s, probably still into the upcoming weekend. As again, as the rain chances go up, those temperatures only slowly come down, but we are looking at better chances for scattered showers and storms. I know it's the weekend, but it's scattered, mainly afternoon and evening as we head into the upcoming weekend. By the way, I'm going to give you an update on radar. Quick update, just we'll keep you updated. Looking ahead to next week, it looks like the weather should be improving as we go through next week. We got a decent chance Monday and Tuesday for thunder showers, but later in the week as we head toward the 4th of July, Friday, right now, some of our extended guidance is showing that we got a front moving through and maybe drying us out a little bit. So we'll focus on that later. Back to what we're seeing on radar, and again, really seeing the cluster and most of the storms focusing here in Cott County. That's where we do have a severe thunderstorm warning in place until 8:15. More thunderstorms. Look at these developing in West Knox County and continuing to make their ways. Look at the new lightning strikes. And so again, this is also a humble reminder. These are away from some of the parent storms, just some lightning and then some of the heavy rain. But it can occur, lightning can occur away from and out from underneath where it's raining, well away from a thunderstorm. The bolt from the blue, what we call that. So you can have lightning occurring far away from the actual thunderstorm cloud. And so that's a humble reminder when thunder roars, move indoors. And when you see lightning, and even before you even hear thunder, when you see lightning, that's the time to go ahead and prepare to move indoors. Don't just see how long you can make it outside. Once the atmosphere produces lightning, it's showing you a clue that, yeah, it's got the potential to storm. So whenever you see lightning, hear thunder, move indoors quickly. But that's what's going on in Knox County. Again, we're already seeing some of those thunderstorms, lightning strikes, I should say, even developing, even though we're seeing thunderstorm activity in Farragut and Hardin Valley. A new storm, look at that, just popping up Lenoir City. Let me show you the radar loop just in the last hour or so. And you can see how quickly these are continuing to develop. Here's a look at the radar loop. Look at that, Lenoir City, just watch how quickly that blossoms. Boom. And so that's what we're seeing. Again, just these pulse-type thunderstorms blossoming up. And here's the thunderstorm activity in Sevier County that's now working its way over into Cocke County. So that's what we're looking at as far as the storm movement. That is to the north. Again, here's a look at just Knoxville radar and Farragut. Again, moving up slowly. It's just kind of a blob that's just propagating slowly to the north. And this is moving up from Interstate 40 right along, again, Campbell Station Road into Hardin Valley. And here's Oak Ridge Highway here. So it's between basically Kingston Pike and Oak Ridge Highway, moving slowly from Farragut, crossing over into the Hardin Valley area. Torrential rainfall. It's not severe. It's a little bit of a strong cell. May have some gusty winds. It does have lightning, number one, to move inside. And it also has some torrential rainfall. And look on the tail end of this. Look at this right over the river at Louisville and just crossing over from Blount into Knox County. See how quickly that developed? This is a 1 hour loop, and you can see more of the showers between Wildwood and Seymour. Those are weakening, but these storms just popping up. And so we're likely seeing new outflow boundaries that are developing new activity. Matter of fact, would not be surprised. That's what the clue of this lightning is. So we'll probably see some new development taking place, probably working its way from Powell to Fountain City to Halls is these new thunderstorms develop. We'll see if that works its way over toward Oak Ridge as we go in time. So again, back to the more active storms, severe thunderstorm warning for Cocke and Sevier counties. It's radar indicated, again, torrential rainfall. It has a ton of lightning with it. So a lot of energy in the atmosphere with this particular storm. Again, that's kind of made its way from Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, Dollywood, Sevierville areas. And this is the last hour, but it's worked its way from Sevier County back into Cocke County. And so obviously, let me slide that over a little bit more so we can see that a little bit better. And I'll go ahead and widen out some as well. And so you can see that. So here we are from Douglas Lake. By the way, it's pretty amazing. Watch this. It's having a hard time moving further north toward Dandridge. Looks like it's pretty much stopped at the Douglas Dam and Douglas Lake area, but it's covering part of the southern part of Douglas Lake south of Dandridge. But it looks like it's having a hard time moving further north. Boy, from Hartford to Newport, Cocke County, this is the concern. Severe storm, thunderstorm warning till 8:15, but flash flooding, very heavy rates of rainfall. Let me show you again. Let me stop the radar right here. Again, much of Cocke County, Newport to Hartford, just covered up with torrential rainfall. And unfortunately, as I mentioned a moment ago, some of the heavy rain and thunderstorm activity, and hopefully it's not right over the road construction area and the repairs trying to be done again from the damage from Helene, which was, if you've not been through the mountains yet, of course you can't go now because it's closed from another flash flood event, but beforehand, it's significant. It is very extensive, and so obviously, if you haven't been there yet, unfortunately, no wonder it's going to take a while because there's a lot of damage on the interstate going into from Tennessee to North Carolina, and what happened with the river there. All right, so here's what we're seeing now. That activity, as far as the rain and storms, working its way up into Cocke County, but the main concern is the potential for some very heavy rainfall. Let me show you the observed rainfall, and I also want to sample the wind, see what we're looking at here. There's a look, and I'll go ahead and just query this particular cell. Coming up from North Carolina, let's see how much that is, probably over 3 inches, I think. Well, no, not quite, 2.4. So that's right along the Tennessee-North Carolina line, but these showers and storms have been growing and continuing to increase. Let me go back and show you. There is a severe thunderstorm warning, as I mentioned, until 8:15. I want to look and see if there's any hail potential. It's probably looking at more of the small hail. It's very heavy rainfall, one of the main concerns, waiting for this to load up. Just I say that, it looks pretty impressive, actually. Maybe it's water-loaded storm, so we'll see. But that does have the potential for actually some decent hail right there. Let me show you the winds. There's a look at some of the stronger winds. I'll query these. This looks like it's probably on the order of 50 miles per hour, 45 to 50. And there's a 41 mile per hour velocity scan. So we've got some stronger winds. The storms they're growing and then they're collapsing. So maybe some of the stronger winds, that could still do some damage, as I'll let you see that right there. But it does have the potential for some large hail, in addition to some damage and wind gust out of this particular storm. So yeah, and in addition to that threat, we're looking at torrential rainfall. Let me show you a different product. This is called precipitation rate. So that's what we're looking at. The rate of precipitation is very heavy. Let me just show you. If it continued to rain at this rate for an hour, this is what this product is showing you. It's going to give you an idea. Let me kind of hit the bullseye right there. And again, this is it's over 2 inches per hour. So obviously, if it rained that for a whole hour, you know, you're getting, in more than an hour, you're getting a lot of rainfall in a very short period of time. So that's what we're looking at. Whenever you have 1 to 2 inch rainfall rates per hour, that's heavy rainfall. Obviously, when you get 2 inches plus, that's very heavy rainfall. And that's what we're seeing right now that's taking place, again, in Cocke County. So, again, that's working its way from Hartford up toward Newport, and some extreme, very heavy rainfall rate. Don't want to use that word too loosely there, but very heavy rainfall and the possibility for some flooding that's occurring right now in Cocke County. That's what we're seeing as far as, again, the latest radar. Severe thunderstorm warning till 8:15 for Cocke and Sevier. It is radar indicated. Flash flood warning, including Blount and Sevier. We'll have to see if a warning, hopefully not, if a warning is issued, and I'm going to hop on over and see if there's a flood advisory issued on that as well. Give me one moment, we'll look at that. But that's what we're looking at as far as the potential for some of that very heavy rainfall, and there's the potential for flooding. So that's one of my main concerns as far as what we're seeing in Cocke County and also Sevier County. So let me, bear with me one moment, add a few products in here and see what we got. To see if there is the initial, a lot of times before there's a flash flood warning, there's a flood advisory that is issued prior to that. So that's what we're seeing as far as what to keep an eye on those. Let's see. Okay, I've got those products turned on, and just wanted to double check and see if that's something that we're seeing. Right now, just have that severe thunderstorm warning, so we're probably just before that stage. And so we'll have to see if that's something that develops. And again, the storm's continuing, though, to rain at a very heavy rainfall rate. And again, this is in an area, not quite the same area, the mountains, but obviously we've had to deal with very heavy rainfall and flooding in parts of Cocke County. So that's one of the main reasons I wanted to bring that to your attention. Let me back out for, again, if you're just tuning in or watching, we do also have thunderstorms that are popping up in West Knox County, including from Hardin Valley. These are slowly continuing to work their way north toward Carnes from Farragut and into parts of Hardin Valley, but basically between Farragut and Carnes, and continuing Pellissippi Parkway, and heading again toward the split as you go from Pellissippi, near the Pellissippi Parkway and Oak Ridge Highway split, Western Avenue, well, back to, toward Carnes, I should say. So that's what we're looking at as from Highway 62 and Highway 140 there in West Knox County. Lenoir City, you're getting a downpour. So again, very heavy rainfall has developed in northern Loudoun County, heavy rainfall in West Knox County. These are not severe, just some strong storms, frequent lightning. But as we mentioned at the beginning of this live stream a few moments ago now, the twofold reason, that very heavy rainfall with flash flooding possible in the steep terrain of Sevier County to Cocke County. Concerned about the flooding potential here, obviously with the ongoing road repair and recent flooding issues in some of these same areas. So that's why if you live in a flood-prone area, be prepared to seek higher ground quickly. So that was one of the other main reasons. And also just to give you a heads up that even some of these storms developing new outflow boundaries and just having a chance for some of these spotty storms to continue to work their way to the north. So that's what we're seeing as far as the latest with activity in Cocke County. And again, just to show you, Farragut moving northward, slowly moving northward into parts of Hardin Valley. And that's what we're seeing as far as those storms continuing. Again, just kind of going to walk through one more time and we'll conclude. Unless we get more warnings, we'll keep you updated on that. These are moving a little bit more northward now into northern Cocke County. So if you're watching us, probably closer to White Pine and continuing Parrottsville, Bybee, again, these are going to continue to propagate through northern Cotton County and working their way closer to Dandridge. Wouldn't be surprised if more of Douglas Lake is going to be covered up with these showers and storms, particularly as you see and coming up into Cotton County, and also as the Nolichucky flows nearby, the French Brook. So that's what we're seeing coming into the Douglas Reservoir area, and we'll have to see if more of these make it up toward Jefferson City, Morristown, Whitesburg area. If our model, high-res model, was showing the potential for some of those to be working their way up into the region. Just kind of walking through some of the accumulated rainfall totals, and again, we are seeing some of those higher totals. Let me go back and show you that observed rainfall that's working its way up into Cotton County. So this is between Hartford and Newport. And again, I just want to mention, if you live along Highway 73, and again, this is over 1.5 inches in a relatively short period of time, but the concern is for flash flooding. Rapid water rises in a short period of time from very heavy rates of rainfall. So that's the main concern of what we're looking at. Again, going forward, there'll be a chance for these thunderstorms mainly early on this evening through northern areas, and then we're looking at a quiet night. And let me just go ahead and show you what we're looking at going forward as far as the next couple of days, and then we'll wrap it up from there. I do want to mention real quick that we do have that heat advisory that's going to be in place again for your Wednesday through 7 p.m. tomorrow. Heat indices well over 100 degrees again tomorrow, ranging between 103 to 107. So a 10 weather impact alert is going to be in place again tomorrow. A reminder to drink plenty of water, stay hydrated, and certainly try to take breaks from the heat. If you have to work outside, take frequent breaks. Number one, try to get out of the sun and at least spend some time indoors or in the shade and out of the sun. Try to spend more time inside. Now, check on the elderly and make sure everybody's taken care of, cool and hydrated, because those temperatures tomorrow are back in the mid-90s. There's a check of our forecast heat index values. As you can see, again, 105 across most of the valley areas across our region. So that's what we're looking at moving forward. Here's our FutureCast model. I wanted to show you this real quickly. I'm going to show you a couple of our different high-res models. This is one high-res model. As we look ahead to our Wednesday, there's more of those storms, almost a down mountain flow with those, and then there'll be a chance for some of those developing Wednesday and Thursday. That's one of our high-res models. Here's another one. I'm just going to kind of let it play through. So as we get into Wednesday, most of these are on the North Carolina side. Boy, Thursday, you see how that just develops those. I'll kind of walk it back for Thursday afternoon. And this is the nature of these. You can almost see how this model, it does a good job. It's a very high-res model. It even predicts and shows these complexes of storms and boundaries that flow out from them. So that was kind of cool to show how that propagates out as far as Wednesday night, Thursday morning. Look at that activity from Alabama up into Mississippi and West Tennessee. That's kind of impressive meteorologically. So there's what we're seeing. As we get into our Thursday, again, there's those thunderstorms just kind of blossoming from Knoxville to Nashville to Huntsville, and they're just kind of spreading out. It's the random nature of summertime thunderstorms. One area can get absolutely, you know the drill. One area can get soaked. A lot of thunderstorms. You know, you talk to your friend, maybe lives a few miles away, or, you know, for example, or 10 or 15 minutes away. I didn't get anything. So that's the possible nature of those as well. And so it's showing kind of the spotty to scattered nature. I don't see anything very heavy and widespread. With that, let me go ahead and show you our 7-day. And again, we'll conclude, and we'll keep an eye on these storms that are continuing. But again, if you live in Cotton County, very heavy rainfall continues. Watch out for flooding. Avoid flooded roadways, and certainly we'll keep you updated. You can see on TV, on air, on Channel 10 WBR, the crawling information on the bottom of your screen. And again, we'll be keeping an eye on the storms, and on social platforms, we'll keep you updated as well. And always right here on the live stream whenever there's impactful weather moving to our region. So speaking of impactful, we have a 10 weather impact alert for your Wednesday, mid-90s, excessive heat and humidity. Heat index value around 105, maybe higher tomorrow. So we max out tomorrow. It's still going to be hot and humid the rest of the week, but then we'll slowly see those temperatures. It's hard to say cool, but you know, not as hot. Upper 80s to lower 90s, so near 90 degrees through the weekend still, and then we're in the upper 80s as we go Monday and Tuesday. We're looking at another boundary. Looks like it's going to be moving through later Monday and Tuesday, so we'll keep those higher chances. Later next week, though, it looks like that boundary, once it moves through, here in East Tennessee, in the Tennessee Valley, as far as Tennessee goes, we should get some drier air moving in as we work our way toward the second half of next week, with highs more seasonal in the 80s and hopefully some drier air and nice weather as we work our way toward the 4th of July. So that's something we'll keep you updated down the road. For right now, we'll conclude this live stream. We'll keep you updated. I hope you have a good, safe rest of your Tuesday night.